What is up, you gorgeous people? I yeah, here we are. This is the long form video. If you saw the short earlier, just giving a little preview on this. This is the actual video about Disney Vacation Club, DVC as it's so lovingly called in the community. Um I'm just going off the cuff here. I don't have a script. I don't I don't care to write one. I am just gonna kind of wing it. But this is a first for me. I have not done a long form video like this ever, so just kind of going with it. Usually, I record gaming content, mainly PUBG. If you've seen my other long form videos, they're pretty boring. It's mostly just me playing a game and kind of chit chatting a bit. Can be interesting, can be really boring. Yeah, it depends, but it may not be your sauce. But it's just what I like to do. I'm not here for the views. I'm not here for the ads or the whatever. The sponsorships. I'm just here to entertain a little bit because I'm here, so I might as well do a little something. If you're looking at my screen right now, which I assume you are because this is a video that I'm recording and this is the screen that it's recording, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Hold on. Uh, this is Disney Vacation Club. This is their website, the old Disney Vacation Club.disney.go.com. Uh, that's a little much, but go.com. Who the hell has go.com? It's gotta be a hell of an expensive domain. But if you can see this, Disney Vacation Club is essentially a timeshare. If you don't know what a timeshare is, brief overview. If you don't know what Disney is, uh, well, just Google it. It's pretty easy to figure out. It's an entertainment company for the most part. They've put out a lot of media content. They have parks. Their first one, Disneyland, big in the day. Walt Disney started that up. Now they have Walt Disney World, which is a much bigger park, has multiple parks inside of it, and is actually more of a real estate venture than a theme park. It's a whole thing. But one of their most successful products, besides park passes and obviously all their media content, has been Disney Vacation Club. Timeshares. Timeshares, if you don't know, they are essentially a contract that gives you the rights to a piece of property for a certain period out of the year. Usually it's like a condo or some hotel room that you have exclusive access to for a certain fixed price for a certain period out of the year. And it just every year it just goes through. Generally, they run from like say 10 to like 50 years. It's kind of crazy how long those contracts can go. But if you know anything about the law, and again, what am I saying? I haven't said this ever before. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not your lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice. I'm just saying if you're going to get involved in any contract, get a lawyer. Like, contracts are complicated. They really are. They're usually written by lawyers. And contract law is one of the oldest types of law. It has been around since people have been making official agreements, and it is very complicated. So, especially nowadays in the world of the digital, contracts are extremely complicated. So, yeah, if you're getting involved in this, you can see, well, that's links, but that's okay. That's some fine print, but I don't know that's super relevant. It's equal housing opportunity. Okay, whatever. Uh, just kind of have to put that up, I guess, for whatever. But so this is Disney Vacation Club. Disney Vacation Club is a timeshare service offered by Walt Disney. Uh, they are they offer essentially a little chunk of a resort that Disney owns, and you can what's interesting is they're a little more flexible than timeshares. So a timeshare will generally be like you have specific access to this specific place at this specific time every year for however long the contract goes through. Disney has a different model here, which is actually kind of interesting. It's more flexible than a normal timeshare. You essentially buy a certain amount of points through the DVC program, and those points get renewed every year. So let's say you have 100 points this year, you can you if you don't use enough, you can bank them for next year, or you can borrow them from next year for this year. But it's kind of like a phone plan where you have minutes, and you have so many minutes every month, and they can roll over to the next month, or you can't really use them the minutes from next month, but it's a little more flexible even than a phone program. It's kind of interesting. I'll give Disney credit here. This is an interesting program because it is not as stringent as a normal timeshare or even like a phone plan, whatever. But it's kind of interesting. We'll go through all of it. This is their main website though, and I saw a video earlier from a guy. I can't remember his name, and I haven't really used any of his videos, so I'm not really gonna give him like full credit or anything. But he was basically looking. You could probably look this up on YouTube. He's basically looking at people who go broke to visit Disney, to have a Disney vacation. And for the most part, well, actually, I'd say like the first half of the video was mainly people that just booked a Disney vacation for like, I don't know, 5 to 10, $15,000 for a whole bunch of people for like 2 weeks or whatever. And they basically put themselves into massive debt just to go on vacation. That's crazy. I'm not a vacation guy. I'm not a Disney guy. I, I'm not even nowadays. You can kind of justify with Star Wars. I'm not much of a Star Wars guy. I don't. Star Wars is fine. I'm not hating on it, but I'm also not like a super fan or anything. So I don't really care that much. But there are a lot of people out there who love Disney. And there are a lot of adults who I will refer to now from now on as Disney adults who love Disney, like love Disney. There are also a lot of kids, my son included, loves Disney stuff. Mickey Mouse, all Goofy, all that stuff. Loves it. Son really hasn't gotten into Star Wars yet. I'll probably introduce him at some point, but he's a little too young for all that. But we're working our way up to it. But yeah, Disney's put out a lot of interesting content throughout the years, and they have these resorts that you can go stay at. Now, there are a couple places that you can go stay at Disney. You of course have Disneyland. Disneyland Resorts. This is the original sort of place that Walt Disney imagined. This is over in California, the Los Angeles area. That is by far the most original sort of Disney experience. There's also Walt Disney World. Now that is the main resort nowadays that exists down in California. It's or California down in Florida. It is sort of near Orlando, kind of more Kissimmee, St. Cloud, whatever the hell it's called, area. And they actually own all the land. They own all the property. They actually have their own sort of like mini government that governs the property itself. So they grant themselves rights to build, all that kind of stuff. They had a mini nuclear plant at one point to actually power the facility. I don't think they ever actually made it operational, but they had the option to, which is kind of wild. And this is just an entertainment company, which is even more wild. It's pretty interesting story. If you want to go look, you want to go hear more about that, just go to their Wikipedia page or whatever. But yeah, Disneyland Resorts, Walt Disney World, California, Florida. There are some places in Hawaii, Hilton Head, which I don't even know where the hell Hilton Head is. Vero Beach, which is another place I have no idea where the hell that is. And they also have Disney cruises. So they have their own cruise line, uh, Disney themed cruises, family oriented type stuff. Which, okay, cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, not I'm not railing against them for being a giant mega corporation, but you know, more power to them. They've set up their own little media empire and entertainment empire, which is cool. Okay, sure. But then they've got this vacation club, which I gotta say, this is kind of wild. They own a lot of different media thing. What do you call it? Like franchises, media assets. So of course the classic Disney characters, Star Wars, pretty much everything they put out. I believe they bought up Pixar. I'm not sure on that. They've bought up a lot of different stuff though, a lot of stuff that I mean, and pretty much almost anything animated, you have to assume it's Disney. It's huge, but they own this timeshare company, which is very interesting. I didn't actually believe this when I first heard about it. So you know what a time. So I've mentioned what a timeshare is, but let's talk about timeshares themselves. Generally, what you do is you sign a contract that gives you certain advantages and some disadvantages to paying a bunch of money up front to go on vacation, essentially, right? That's pretty much what it is. So you pay, you know, a lot of money. This goes for years and years. So you pay 20, 30, 40, $50,000 for this contract that sort of becomes, they call it a leasehold. And it's a sort of, it's a type of asset, which it's not really an asset if you have to pay a lot of money for it, because a lot of people are going to end up financing it, and so it's sort of a liability, but it over time it becomes more and more of an asset, just like a house. If you get a mortgage on a house, if you got a car loan, that kind of thing, it's a similar type of product, but it is literally just the ability to go stay at this place for a certain amount of time out of the year. But with the DVC model, they actually have it's slightly different. So let's go over to hold on. I am on a guest account here just so I can. So vacation points. This is the big thing right here. Vacation points. This is the number one thing when it comes to DVC. So they actually give you the ability to buy a certain amount of vacation points every year. Here you can see their system for banking vacation points, so you can save them like rollover minutes for next year. You can borrow from next year into this year. That's cool. That's very flexible. I'm not not gonna lie, very flexible. You can get a romantic getaway for 150 vacation points, and again, you could do that every year if you buy the contract that gives you 150 vacation points. There you go. Here's a family vacation for 205. They usually don't round them off if you buy them directly from Disney. Now you can buy them on the resale market, just like any sort of piece of property, real estate. They are resold. The only thing is that Disney has the option to buy the contract from you if you're ever going to resell it. So if you go, generally you're going to go to a broker, just like real estate. You're going to go to a broker. You're going to say, "Hey, I want to sell my Disney Vacation Club contract for preferably at least this amount." They're going to say, "Okay, well, this is maybe what you can get for it. That might be a good price, and maybe you should go a little higher, maybe a little lower." Market varies, that kind of thing. The cost of the contracts will generally go up because Disney's going to charge more and more for these contracts, but you are locked in at whatever price you started at. So you're going to go to a resale company and they're going to say, "Hey, you can, kind of sell for this amount," but we'll get into the resale stuff later. But for right now, just assume you're buying it directly from Disney. So here we are on the Disney website. Yeah, incredible array of vacation options. I mean, if you need a family vacation, 205 points. You can't buy just 205 points. You generally have to go like 250 or 300 points to be able to sign the contract. They just round it off. They don't really get into a whole detailed thing. So this kind of thing, this you would have to get like 400 points for. This I think you can get 150 points. That I think that's an option. But yeah, so this is just it's a gimmick. This is an ad, right? This is not a legit thing. This is mainly just an ad. But let's take a look here. Price your membership. I'm just gonna click through some links here and hopefully not get too many fucking spam emails in the process. We'll see. So here you go. So this is the cost of membership. This is the main table. I I can't. Okay, can't click the. Okay, I was gonna highlight the whole thing, but do that. Okay, sure, whatever. This is the main table you have to look at. So your purchase price. There you go. $243 per point times the number of vacation points selected. So there you go. You buy 100 vacation points, and that you get that every year. You get 100 vacation points. That would cost you 24,300. Right now, there's some discounts and different fees and stuff that are included, but that's what it's mainly going to cost you. So, what is a vacation point? A vacation point is a small chunk of a timeshare, essentially. So you've got a timeshare where when you get one of these contracts, you're going to pick a property that you want to have as your what they call the home resort. So there's a very popular one called Saratoga Springs. Let's assume that we've got Saratoga Springs. You're buying your contract for Saratoga Springs at $243 per point times the number of vacation points. So figure just 100 points, $24,300, and that contract will go the length of it. It gets a little complicated. So let's talk about the length of the contract. Usually, a timeshare, there is a set length. So after that length, the contract expires. You no longer have access to the property via the contract. So there's no legal access or right to the property. Um, that's a normal timeshare. The amount of time that you get to access the property is written into the contract. With this, it is a little different. The length of the contract depends on the age of the property. So I don't know how old is Saratoga Springs? Let's look it up. Saratoga Springs. Okay, that's New York. Okay. Let's see. Disney. All right, let's jump in here. Saratoga Springs, Disney, Walt Disney World. Can I get like a here we go. Here we go. This is it. All right. We'll be able to get the history here. So 2004. This is when they opened. Generally, the contracts will go out to about 40 to 50 years out. So somewhere between 2044 and 2054 is when this contract is going to be good for, no matter when you buy it, right? So if you buy it today, 2026, let's say it's 2024, you're going to get about 10 to 20, or I'm sorry, 20 to 30 years out of that contract. Doesn't really matter. Most of these resorts and these contracts are a little newer, so you will have 40 to 50 years on them, but a lot of them are kind of older. So depending on where you select as your home resort, you will not get the benefit of that full contract length. It's just how it works. That's just how it works. Yeah. But they don't really go into that. You kind of have to know. Oh shit! I hit the mic. Sorry. You kind of have to know that from the beginning. That's kind of important. So assuming, $24,000, if you're paying that over the course of 20 years, if that's the length of the contract, that's kind of how long you have to pay it. There you go. If it's up to 50 years out, so if it's a brand new resort, let's say from today, it's going to be 20 20 hold on to 71, right? 71, is that right? Yeah, 71. So like 2071 when it expires. So you have about 50 years there to pay it. That would be if it's a brand new resort just opened up. They're offering these timeshares on it, and you can actually get in there and get one of these contracts. And they are limited because they only have so many places open. It's sort of based on the calendar year plus the number of rooms that they have, right? And it it kind of varies too because you also have different lengths of vacations that people will take. Here's the thing: it's very flexible compared to a timeshare. Disney Vacation Club is very flexible. It's surprisingly flexible because you can use these points that you buy, these annual points. You can use them for Disneyland resorts, Walt Disney World, so California, Florida, Hawaii, the other places, Hilton Head, Vero Beach, or even the Disney cruise lines, which is really cool, right? So you can kind of, they're not super limited. You can kind of vary them a little bit. And yeah, it's a little more flexible than a timeshare. It's honestly kind of weird how they get away with it because I guess it's like first come, first serve type thing. If you have a home resort, let's say it's Saratoga Springs, you decide that you're not going to Saratoga Springs, which is I think Walt Disney World resort. You're going on a cruise. Screw it. You've been working hard. You're going on a cruise. Cruises are very relaxing. I will say I've been on a couple. Very relaxing. Great way to spend your time. They can be a little expensive, so I always recommend something like Carnival. But it's they can be a little expensive. They can be a little dangerous. They can be a little weird. So your mileage may vary, but if you're going, let's say you're going on a cruise that year, you're deciding I'm gonna grab this stateroom on this cruise ship for this time period. You can just do that, and that's kind of cool, right? I like that. That's very flexible compared to a regular timeshare. Okay, I'll give Disney the credit there, very flexible. Although you have to keep in mind they can deny you pretty much for any reason for any period of time that you've chosen. It's not it's so flexible that unlike a regular timeshare where I have the legal right to go into this place at this time and do what I want, you don't have that with the Disney contract. You get the ability to basically book a time and a place, but if you get denied for it, let's say something else comes up, they have to go under construction. Maybe they have a VIP that's got to come in and take some rooms, and your room's just not available. They're going to take priority. So you can't. It's not like a guarantee that you're going to get this vacation. So you have to kind of plan ahead. Let's talk about that. So your home resort. So you go through here, you pick a home resort. Let's say it's Saratoga Springs or the Riviera or the Polynesian villas and bungalows. I think was another one I saw. You go through, you pick one of those. Again, I'm not super up to date on the whole Disney thing, Disney resort thing. I've only been there like twice in my whole life. The last time was like over 20 years ago. So give me some grace here. But if you pick one of these places and you decide to go there, you can book out to 11 months out, which is more than you can most of the time with Disney. Your home resort. If it's not your home resort, you can book up to 7 months out, which is still a decent amount of time. Gives you a lot of time to plan and get your affairs in order, all that stuff. So, there you go. It gives you a little bit of an advantage if you have this home resort and you like to go to that place a lot compared to other places. Gives you a little bit of an advantage on the booking process, all that. I don't think there's any real difference. Now, if you do book, the one advantage you can have is if you book a really cheap place and then you decide to go stay in a more expensive place. You're only paying certain amounts for this cheaper place as your home resort, but you're staying in a more expensive and exclusive place. That's kind of cool because you can kind of finagle a little bit of savings out of that, right? We'll talk about savings later. This is, we're just kind of getting into it. I know this might be a lot of information getting thrown at you. So let's go through this chart here, though. We've got the purchase price. This is your initial price that you're going to pay. Okay. Now, again, you're looking at this. You're saying $24,000. No fucking way. I'm not paying $24,000 up front. Most people aren't. They're going to be financing it. This is a financial credit type thing. Okay. Very often, most people are not going to be paying this. They might pay it off in a reasonable amount of time, a few years. I heard one guy say he paid it off in 4 years, and he paid, I think it was back in 2019, it was 165 bucks per point. He got 300 points, and it came out to about $47,000, and he paid it off in about 4 years. Guy seemed like seemed like he had a decent job, was doing his thing. Cool. Okay, if you can afford to do that, nothing wrong with that. Looks good in your credit. If you're really into Disney vacations, sure. Okay. That I completely understand. But that's the thing. He didn't just pay off this amount. He paid off the initial price, right? He paid off this, right? So he can get rid of the interest. The interest, by the way, let's talk about that. The interest right now, I don't know what he was paying for interest, but the interest right now, as you can see up here, it's $243. If you get the financing, they're including this 15% APR, which is about half the interest of a credit card, but it's like, I don't know, 2 to 3 times as much as you would pay for a regular mortgage, depending on what you're buying and when. So that's a lot of money. You can get other financing options. So you don't have to use Disney financing. You can get other options. That is a thing. So if you're looking around, like if you're just like you're going to buy a car, buy a house, that kind of thing, shop around, make the purchases right for you. I'm not recommending you buy these at all. I'm just saying if you're going to, make sure you do the research, okay? Because this is very complicated shit. This is the kind of shit you need a lawyer involved. This is very complicated. So 243 becomes 316 per month with that APR. That's a lot of extra money there. It's almost another $100, like 75 bucks more. Yeah, that's a lot of extra cash there that you're throwing at this thing. Right? So now we're up to, instead of 243 per point per month, or per whatever per year, you're up to 316 per month, right? That you're paying this off with a 10% down payment. So if it's, let's say, a $50,000 contract, you're putting down $5,000 up front. This is very much like buying a house. It is like a small house you're buying here. This is significant. Okay. Now, this none of this is set in stone. Everything's gonna vary depending on what you buy, when you buy it, all that. But what your credit's like. It all depends. But here we've got the initial price that you're looking at plus your interest. So depending on whatever it is, then you've got your closing costs. So closing costs, starting at 463 plus $300 document prep fee. uh, the one I saw earlier when I was doing some math on it, it came up to like $1,000, and they were giving you like $800 off for a discount. So it was basically like 200 bucks in fees and closing shit, all that. Whatever. Okay, this is a one-time thing. You'll never have to worry about this again. You just have to factor it into the cost per point. Of course, they don't do that over here, especially with the financing option. They don't do that over here, but this is just something extra you have to worry about. Here's the kicker. This is the fucking thing that will fuck you. I guarantee you. There are 2 stars on this. I don't know where those stars go. There are 3 stars on this. What the fuck? Where are these stars at? Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so 2 stars. Annual dues. All right, let's read this. Estimated monthly amount shown is based on the current annual dues amount. They will go up. They will always go up. They will go up and they will change. They're not fixed by contract. The amount that you're paying for the room is fixed by contract. The amount of your annual dues, which is sort of like a due you pay to almost like a HOA fee, something like that. You're paying it for like some maintenance and upkeep, that kind of stuff. Which again, or I say again, but in reality, they're not necessarily upkeeping these properties. They're just kind of pocketing the money. But we're not going to talk about all that. I don't. I'm not going to pretend to finger Disney for some scam shit over here. I'm just pointing some shit out. Just in general, you got to realize they're not generally using these things for upkeep. A little bit of it, I'm sure they are, but a lot of it they're probably pocketing. Just saying. So requires enrollment in auto pay from a U.S. bank account. Another thing to worry about. Most people won't have to, of course, if you live in the U.S. In the first year purchase, annual dues and/or monthly dues are prorated for the year. Good to know. Just like any other bill you get into, it's generally prorated for the month, or this is prorated for the year. Annual dues are calculated each year and are subject to increase in future years. Any financing terms shown do not include annual dues, which are charged separately. Very important. This has nothing to do with your contract, except that your contract will say you have to pay the annual dues. Doesn't say you have to pay this amount in annual dues. You might start out at six, $800,000 per year, which gets charged monthly. This is starting $70 a month, which 70 times 12 is what is that? 820. Is that right? 800. Hold on. 840. Am I? Oh no, my American math skills are showing up. 7 times 12. I think it was at 84. Seven times. Why do I not know my 12 times tables right now? Drinking a little too much. It is 84. Okay, yeah, there we go. Wow. So at least you're looking at yeah, at least $840 a year, which is going to get started at $70 a month. So that this is all like your minimum. This is minimum. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars already, hundreds of dollars in fees, and Jesus, $70 a month minimum for annual dues, which are going to add up really quick. In fact, the one guy that I saw talking about this, he had a positive light on this in this thing, and I guess that's because he loves his Disney vacations. That's fine, nothing wrong with that. You do your thing. I'm not that kind of person. Maybe you are. That's cool. I'm just putting this out there. He was saying he had a $47,000 contract. He paid it off in 4 years. Good for him. That's very responsible. But his annual dues ended up being around, I think it was like 120 to $130,000 total over the lifetime of the contract. So he'd have to pay that all up front, but every year, in fact, every month, he's getting charged these dues. And you just have to suck it up, and they will always go up. Everything goes up, right? Almost everything that costs a fixed amount of money will increase over time. It's just because of inflation. That's just the way it works, right? So that's kind of where we are. What else can I say about this? Anything in particular? Uh, I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I want to say specifically about the basics of this membership. They call it a membership. Be careful. You got to be careful. This is some dangerous shit we're getting into here. So yeah, Saratoga Springs, cool, 2004, awesome, love it. Okay, so let's let's just go through one of these. How many vacation points are right for you? This is your number of vacation points here. We can drag this. I would say most people I've heard, no, 300 is a lot. This is a lot of people have gone for 300. They will tend to go somewhere between 1 and 3 vacations a year, and to Walt Disney World or some variant cruise line or some other place, Disneyland, whatever. That's a lot of vacations. You have to remember this is only for the hotel room. And again, these hotel rooms, I say again, why do I say again every time? I haven't discussed this yet. These hotel rooms are very basic. They do not have most of the amenities that you're expecting in a hotel room. They probably have most of the amenities that you're normally expecting in like a normal hotel room. But if I'm going to a hotel room for like a week and I'm going to a place that I know it's going to be expensive to eat, like Walt Disney World, I would expect a kitchen, right? Some kind of kitchenette, some kind of fridge, a stove, a microwave, that kind of stuff. You're lucky to get a microwave in most of these hotel rooms. Okay. So if you get a stove and a refrigerator, that's great. But you have to remember a lot of the money that you're paying for is, you're paying all this money right now, right? All this shit here. You're paying all this money right now. We're financing it. You're paying some of this. You're paying these every year, right? So you're paying a lot of money up front. Then you have to buy tickets to the goddamn theme parks, right? So Walt Disney World has a lot. There's like, the normal Walt Disney World, the MGM Studios, Universal Studios, whatever the hell's down there. You get all that different shit. You can go multi-park pass, all this different stuff. You can get an annual pass. Now, these contracts will come with discounts on annual passes and that sort of thing. But keep in mind, if you buy one resale, those membership extras, which is what they call membership extras, think of them as perks, they do not apply to you. So you cannot get discounts on food, on souvenirs, on passes, park passes, anything like that. All that extra stuff, it goes away if you resell this and you buy it up. It's like, say I buy one of these, so this is 64,000, almost $65,000. Let's say I buy that today, and then I spend it. Whoops, I sit in it for about 10 years. I go to 10+ vacations, whatever. I use up my points. I'm having fun, but I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to get out of this. So maybe after 10 years, the price goes down to, I don't know, maybe $40,000 a year. All the extra benefits that you get from that. Let's say you're on the resale market, you buy this used package up for $40,000. You can't get those extra benefits, those perks. They don't come along with it. Disney has a very strict contract on this stuff. And one thing you have to remember is if you go to sell this, Disney has the option to buy it out from under the buyer. So you go to sell it, you get a buyer for it. Buyer says, "Hey, you want 40,000? I'll give you 38,000 for it." Right? And you say, "All right, okay, sure." What the broker's going to do is going to go and contact Disney and say, "Hey, this person's trying to sell their DVC contract for this amount. Do you want the option to buy it out?" Disney has the option to buy it out. If they buy it out, they have to buy it out. I think the price you're selling it at, or the final offer price, essentially. So whatever the seller and you agree upon, right? The final contract price. They're going to agree. Disney's going to come back. They might, and they apparently do this quite often. They will buy this contract back. So the buyer may get fucked out of this. The seller, the seller, will not. You will get the money, but the buyer may get fucked on it. So be careful, I guess, if you're buying these on the resale market. They can have issues. Going to closure, you can really get fucked. So this is the way it is. So here's your this is Disney's Riviera Resort. This is apparently a really popular one. There's the VDH, they call it, Villas at Disneyland Hotel. This is Disneyland. This is not Disney World. Here's one in Hawaii here. This one, I believe, this is kind of cool. They have like little cabins. Again, I don't think they have kitchenettes in them though. It's pretty dumb. If you ask me, it's pretty dumb. You put a stove in there. Put a little fridge. Put a stove so I can cook my own food. I'm in a cabin. Like, come on. I want to be a little self-sufficient. Like, come on. What are we doing here? Uh, so yeah, you can see right here, 64,000. So purchase price 72.9, closing costs and fees almost 1,600, savings 9,600. So you've got some savings. I mean, these are discounts they're throwing in there. Are those discounts worth it? I have not looked into the actual prices of these places yet. So they might be worth it. It might be worth it. Maybe this is just a gimmick price. I have no idea. This might be the actual price they're looking for. Maybe they're only looking for 60,000. If they're making 64 on it, that's pretty good. They're getting the money no matter what. The finance company is going to come back and give them the money. That's the way it goes. They get it no matter what, right? This price is probably just a gimmick. They just kind of were hoping you would pay this. Companies do this all the time. It's a kind of bait and switch type thing ish. It's mildly legal, sort of sometimes illegal, depends on the context. But yeah, this is pretty much illegal right here. I'm not going to say they're breaking the law or anything, but this is sort of a gimmick though. They're never expecting to get $72,000 for this. They're probably expecting to get just under 64,000, something like that. I don't know. They've priced everything into this. Okay, they know what the hell they're doing. They know what the hell they're doing. Also, here you go. Additional recurring costs, 2026 dues, charge monthly, $236.50. Holy fuck. Times 12. So that's over $2,400 a year that you could be putting into your vacation that you're just putting into the property that you've got a timeshare at. Oh, that hurts. This is the worst part about this. If there's any reason to not go into the DVC, it is this right here. The additional recurring costs. There's only one. There's only one. I'll give them that. It's the dues, the annual dues that are actually charged monthly. This is a car payment for a lot of people. $236 a month. That is a car payment. That is a lot of money to put out every fucking month. That's crazy, right? So yeah, that's a lot. If you're, I mean, honestly, who the hell wants to vacation at Disney every fucking year? What are we doing here? Again, Disney adults, and that was a proper again. Disney adults, they love Disney. Even if they have kids, if they don't have kids, half the time it doesn't even matter. It's just about them. They love Disney, and they're going to go to Disney no matter what. So give me one second, let me take a drink here. Mm. Uh, yeah, this is wild. If you've never heard of this, I don't blame you. Again, another proper again. I don't do vacations much, hardly ever. I'm not a vacation person. I'd rather do the quote unquote staycation. That term's not as popular anymore, but that's kind of what I do. If I'm off, I'm just kind of chilling at home, just relaxing. I don't want to go out and do a bunch of shit. I don't want to be on a schedule. I don't want to be paying somebody else a bunch of money just for me to relax. I can do that at home. Holy shit, what a concept! Right? But okay, I understand. I understand that people want to go to places and make memories with their kids and with their significant others, all that. I understand that. So I'm not hating people just because they buy this stuff. But this is a lot of money and it is a big deal. This is a huge thing. You might not be able to resell this, right? You might lose a lot of money on this if you try to resell it. It's very possible. So you really have to plan ahead for these things. This is not something where you want to go and get sat down by a someone offering you a free dinner, a Disney rep, and they be like, "Oh, hey, this is a great discount." Like, I mean, think about how expensive Disney's going to be in the future. You're going to come here like at least what once a year, probably two, three times a year. Like, yeah, come on, like look at these values over here. No, this is a huge thing. How often do you have to go to Disney every year? Honestly, if you go once a year, I mean, for real, if you go once a year, like, okay. So let's take a look at these. So I mentioned the vacation points. Let's take a look at this. So a very common one a number that I saw from people that actually bought direct from Disney were 300. Some people will go resell the resale market. They'll buy like a 50-point contract. Very low points, usually not available that often. Nowadays, minimum is 100. Okay, so if you buy direct, minimum is 100. Some people have websites where they have it set up just to sell it to other people. Disney does not like that. They do not like people renting their timeshares. Essentially, they classic timeshare, it's very easy to rent out to other people that aren't related to you and stuff. Disney does not like that. They don't like you making money off of their timeshare. So they want you to use it yourself, or at least your family or friends to use it, not some random stranger that you just met on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. So this is a pretty stringent thing, and they're really trying to enforce that. I've heard they've gotten a lot worse about it too in recent years. But let's take these vacation points. So we've got 300 points, right? Let's go over to okay, that's one spot. I've kind of given up to these. I will post these links to these websites as well. I've got a couple videos I want to post as sources for my notes here that I've taken. People that have they're all people that have bought DVC contracts have talked about it in positive and negative lights. And I had one girl that I will put at the top. She went through the whole process and very the surface level, not everything, but the surface level. She went very in depth without getting too, you know, boo hooey about it. She went very classroom type of look at these sorts of contracts. So I really appreciate that. What was her? I'll mention her actually because her video. I took a lot of notes from her video specifically. Holy shit! Um, I've got it on the speakers here. Let me turn that off real quick. Hold on. Bluetooth headset. Okay. So her name is Pixie Dust PhD. She's got about 2,250 subscribers. This video only has 1.7 thousand views from 2 years ago. So if you want any more information, she goes through pretty much all the basics you need to know in a very concise way. 15-minute video. She does a great job. I will link that below and give her the credit where credit is due for sure because I took a lot of notes from her video because she went through. I actually had to slow. She recommended slowing her video down because she went through it real quick, and you might want to do that with this video too because I can talk pretty fast sometimes. But I had to put her video at like 75% speed just so I could keep notes properly without fucking up because she was just going. Perfectly coherent. Love it. Appreciate that, Pixie Dust PhD. But I will link that in this video if I can figure out exactly how to do that. I know how to put it in the description. I would hope to put a little clicky thing so you can just click on it. Um, I have to go back to the short too and link it to this video. But so let's see. We're on this thing here. This is the we just saw the Riviera, right? This is the Riviera Resort. There you go. So Riviera Resort. Where are we here? Oops. Here. This is what I want. Disney's Riviera Resort. Room type. So this is the interesting thing. There are a number of room types, and there are also specialty rooms. Apparently, they have one place with tree houses. I'm not getting into all that. There are. Give me one sec. Here, right here. I have a table here. Most of the all the rooms will give you they'll have at least four a place for four people to sleep, right? So at least four people, sometimes five. You know, all the studio rooms, the basic rooms, right? One bedroom villa. This is another place you can rent out. Again, they have all different points. We'll go through the point chart real quick in a little bit here. Most of this is four plus people, generally five. The two-bedroom villas, generally it's good eight plus, generally nine. Um, that's looking, and then a grand villa always 12. There's all if it has a grand villa, it's gonna give you a 12-person occupancy, and then there are others that are like variants or specialty type things. There's cabins, that sort of thing. There's also right there, treehouse. Uh, houses 9 people. So there you go. There's a cottage on Vero Beach that houses 12 people, that sort of thing. Um, that's what you're looking at. So you can get these places for a certain number of points. So let's go to the points chart. This is another website I can. This is dvcresellemarket.com. We were at the Riviera Resort. Let's just go into here. So this is the point chart for 2026. So last year pretty similar. Okay, that was pretty similar. This is 2026. Please go away. I don't need your help. Uh, so travel period. So they have different travel periods. So these are the times you can travel between that these points apply to, and it applies to this resort specifically. So this is if you're a DVC member at the Riviera Resort, you could spend. This is a tower studio, sleeps up to two. Deluxe studio sleeps up to five. Always refer to the point chart for how many it sleeps. One bedroom villa sleeps up to five. Two bedroom villa sleeps up to nine. Three bedroom villa sleeps up to 12, or grand villa they call it. So again, 10 points. So that's 10 days. So, or I'm sorry, that's 7 days. If you're in it for a week, that's 7 times 10, 70. We got 76 here. That is literally just 5 times 10 plus 13 times 2, or 2 times 13, whatever the fuck. That's literally just adding up these numbers here because this is Friday, Saturday, and that's Sunday through Thursday. So there is no variation here. This is all the same. So 5 times 14 would be 50, 70, and then 2 would be 20, 34. So 70 and 34 is 104. So these are the exact same numbers right here. This weekly thing, not a discount. It is just telling you if you come Sunday through Saturday, this is what you're going to pay in total. Um, if you decide to do more of these days than these days and whatnot, whatever it is, it's going to work out to this amount of points times those days added up together. That's just how it works. So let's say you have 300 points, right? You got, let's see, this was 300 points right here times 243. That's per point. Those are annual points. Get those every year. You can bank them. You can borrow them. You can do certain things. Very flexible. I'll give them that. Very flexible with all this shit. But this is the amount you're paying. And this is, you know what? Let's, here, let me close that and let's go. Yeah. So we're looking at the Riviera. This is this is the amount you're paying, but the amount you're paying will vary by the time of year you travel, and the amount of points you use will vary by the time you travel. So Here, it goes up with the standard thing. If it's if it's a more popular time, you're going to pay more points. So September 1st to 30th, this is when school starts. Most people are not traveling, especially people with kids. This is a very low point time. You can see that 10, 13. Over here, you've got 12 and 14. This is January 1st to 31st. A lot of people are on vacation. School's out. Well, they're taking vacations either way. It doesn't really matter. May 1st to 14th, school's out again. School's out for real because it's summer, also winter vacation. So these are more popular times, right? You can tell already we're going up here. As we go up here, you get more and more popular times to take a vacation. Here's like March 29th to April 5th. That's generally spring break, roughly somewhere around there. This is Christmas break, winter break, whatever you want to call it. But those times right there are specifically like Christmas time into almost New Year's. So yeah, you've it just goes up a lot. So you start at 10 for this place. The cheapest amount of points you could spend. This is a Tower Studio, Sunday through Thursday. Let's say you do that. That's 5 days. That'd be 50 points. All the way up to Sunday through Thursday. If you do five of these, that's 125 minus five, so like 120 points, whatever it is. Uh, yeah, so it varies a lot. 50 to 120 points for the same room for the same time of the week. Just depends on the date you're going. That's how it works. So this is the idea. If you buy 300 points, and this right here, May 1st through the 14th, let's say this is per night, by the way. So, well, this is weekly right here. So per night would be 50 or 41 for the week. 305. So if you bought 300 points, you would have to borrow 5 points from next year, or if you had 5 points banked from last year, you'd be able to add that to your 300 points. And there you go. You have the 305 points. You have 300 points and you don't need to worry about it because if over here, if you're doing for the week, this would be a one bedroom villa. This is the premium and this is like a standard. I think 248 would get you the standard one bedroom villa for a week, right? Full week, Sunday through Saturday, right? So that's what we're doing here. This is how the points work. Disney decides how many points each property is worth. You buy a certain number of points. It's fixed every year. That's the points you get. You can kind of vary that a bit with the banking and borrowing system, but Disney decides what the properties are worth point wise. And if you're spending again, if you're so let's do the math here. 10 points for one night, Sunday through Thursday, in a tower studio at the Riviera Resort. You're spending 10 points. 10 points, right? Just think about that. That's one night. One night, Sunday through Saturday, or Sunday through Thursday. You're spending 10 points for one night. How much do those points cost, right? At the Riviera, right? Where are we at here? Sorry, going up here 240, and this is if you buy it outright. This is not if you finance. You finance again somewhere around 316. Let's say you just buy it outright. I'm just going to assume you people are rich. $243 per point, right? 10 points. So you're essentially spending $2,430. That's how much you're being charged for that room per night. Now, again, you're not actually doing that because you're getting a certain amount of points every year, which kind of comes out to a certain amount. So let's say you've got 100 points. Let's say you get the most, right? $243 per point, and you get 100 points, right? Every year for 50 years. So 100 points times 50, right? Times 243. This is what they're charging, right? This would be, oh wow, over $1 million, right? By their value. This is how much they value the timeshare at. About a $1.2 million. But you're only spending this amount, right? 24,300. So it's a pretty good fucking deal, right? But here's the issue. I mean, you only get 100 points per year, right? So you can only stay at this place for 10 days total. And you can't stay there you can't stay 10 days in a row because obviously Sunday through Thursday that's 5 days and you've got two more which are more expensive. So you have to take that into account. But say you stay there say you were to be able to stay there 10 days or 10 points. That would give you 100 points. That would be your total value. That's kind of what they're valuing that at, right? Each point is $243, and you have to spend 10 points per night in this one little room. That's crazy. Oh, the S is standard and P is preferred, just so you know, preferred, premium, whatever. Um, that's kind of crazy. So they're basically valuing each of these timeshares in these basic bitch rooms for $1.2 million, right? But they're selling it to you with this contract. They're selling it to you for roughly $25,000 plus the annual dues, which add up again. This is $70 per month, $840 a year times 50 years. That comes out to what? $42,000. So plus your what was it 24,000, 20, let's say 25,000. You're looking at what? Oh yeah, okay, $67,000. I don't know why the fuck. I don't know why the fuck. Wait, 42,000. Is that right? 840 times 50. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, $67,000 in total, paid over 50 years. You're probably going to be paying it off before then, but your annual dues you don't pay off right away. Those will go up. So if you're paying $70 now, 10 years from now, you might be paying $100 a month. 10 years from then, you might be paying $150 a month. It's going to go up. That's just how money works. That's just inflation. It's going to go up. If this went up, what, 9% based on inflation? What is inflation? It's like 3 to 4%. Sorry, not 9%. It's like 3-ish% a year. If this went up 3-ish% a year, right? So let's go over here. Hold on. 70 times 0.03. And you just keep doing this, right? Up, not, I'm sorry, 1.03. So 72.1. That's the first, so 2 years, you're at 72.1. I, okay, I tried to do that. Okay, that didn't work. So at 2 years in, let's figure you're at about 74. It's going to keep going up. Even if it's not actually going up in these dollar amounts, the inflation wise, the amount of money that your money's worth, right, is going to decrease over time. So you're going to essentially be paying more and more and more. That's kind of the hidden cost that you really don't think about with these, especially with these annual fees. These annual fees or annual dues, they are a lot. This is a ton of the contract right here. Depending where you go, this is $70 a month. This is not the Riviera. This is somewhere else. This is a very, very cheap place that they're sending you to with this price. All of this is the cheapest they can put it. This is the cheapest they can legally state it at, right? They can't say any cheaper than this because they don't offer anything cheaper than this. This is the cheapest place. Most people are not going to pick the cheapest place. They're going to pick the Riviera or the Saratoga Springs or some place that's just way more awesome than the normal little dinky place that you might get. That's crazy. Okay. This is a terrible idea. It really is. This is a terrible idea. I mean, even if you're looking at 100 points, just take a look at this. I mean, what was that? 300? Let me just three. Really? Come on. 300. We were at 64,000, almost $65,000, right? Down to 100. We're at 25,000. It's it's not even a third of what we had up on the screen, right? So 300 was fewer than three times this. That'd be like $75,000. 365,000. So they're giving you some discount there. That's fair. But this price here is, yeah. So the more points you buy, the cheaper it is per point. It seems like. Yeah, these closing costs and fees will price 758 times 3 would be, yeah. So they're giving you discounts for sure. At 100 points, they're not giving you much. At 300, they're giving you a decent amount of discount. So that's how they get you. They say, well, don't buy the 100, buy the 300. It's a lot cheaper over time. Yeah, it is. But what are you getting from this? Look, if you're going on a Disney vacation every year, one, two, three times a year, guaranteed, this might be a great option for you. If you can afford that shit, this might be a great option for you. I don't know. It's up to you. I will say, if you put your money into, I don't know, the S&P 500 at 10% interest a year, well, not guaranteed, but that's, it varies. So figure over time about 10% interest. You're going to make a lot of money. With this, you're going to lose a lot of money. And it might go up in value in the resale. I haven't looked in the resale market yet, so that's another, let's go over here and look at the DVC resale market. So that I haven't actually looked into yet. There's even a sponsored ad here. That's kind of wild. Let's go take a look at this. I need to grab my vape because I need some nicotine. Give me 10 seconds here, maybe. Look at that. Look at that kid. Look at this. Look at this family. These people are so happy. Look how happy they are. Look how happy they are. This. Oh, look. Is my mouse? They have mouse effects. Are you seeing? Can you see that on the recording with the mouse? I have no idea what you can see on the recording. Hold on. Yes, you can. Oh my God. That's amazing. Look at this. How often do you see that? That is really cool. I will give them that. That is a cool effect. All right, that's not Disney though. This is some other magical kingdom called the DVC resale market. So they have 433 listings up right now. Let's take a look here. I'm just gonna I don't care. Let's just okay. Where the fuck? Okay, here we go. Okay, so here's one. Let's look for what we're looking at before Riviera. I want to try to keep it consistent here. Riviera, we've got a 200-point contract here. Uh, so what the fuck? Oh, 25, 0 points, 26. Okay, so this is a pretty new contract, I think. Um, 213 points available. Looks like they borrowed or they banked from last year, maybe. I don't know how. Actually, I don't know if you can tell how new it is, but 213 points. They probably banked 13 from last year. They've got 200 points for next year, so they haven't used any. Um, the use year, this is August. So use year is kind of interesting. This is essentially the fiscal year of your contract. So every year on August 1st, you'll get your points. September 1st, get your points. February 1st, get your points. That kind of thing. It's like a fiscal year for your points. That's all it is. It can matter sometimes. I've heard people say it doesn't really matter unless you're trying to cancel at a certain time. I've heard other people say this is the most critical thing about a contract. It varies. Okay. It really does. So your use year may or may not matter for you. Your mileage may vary. You have to look into that yourself. Dollar per point, amount value per point. This is $118 per point, which is pretty cheap considering, you're paying $243 per point. This is even cheaper than 2019 prices before the pandemic. After the pandemic, it looks like things went up quite a bit. Um, yeah, I mean this. Oh, wow, look at that, 525 points. Holy shit! And for 2026, they've used quite a bit, and they are selling it. Haven't used any from next year though. That's good. That's a big contract. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. Almost $900 a month, right? Over here, you look at this one, it's a 150-point contract. That 150 points is a decent amount. If you're just doing one vacation a year, 100 points is probably good enough, but 150 is even better, especially if you have like three or four people. Um, $277 a month for the life of the contract, which again, well, if you're, not the life of the contract necessarily, but until you pay this amount off. And yeah, you're probably going to be financing this because a lot of people don't have this much extra cash just laying around in their bank account, right? So, it's a lot of money for most people. Even if you have that amount in your bank account, you're not going to drop it all on a fucking Disney resort contract, right? So, it's, yeah. So here's the resale market. It is significantly cheaper, but as I said, the perks that you get with the direct sales contract, they don't come with the resale contract. So you get discounts on food, souvenirs, passes, that kind of thing, different, things. Also, when you resell it or when you rebuy it, I guess I should say, you will have issues with where you're going to stay. If this contract is for the Riviera Resort, you can almost be guaranteed you're going to be staying at the Riviera Resort. Most of the time, the other resorts are not going to be open to you. It's going to be very hard to get bookings at other resorts with a resale contract. With the original contract, this original owner, they would have pretty easy time getting at the Riviera Resort, and fairly easy time getting it at every other resort as well, just because they bought it directly from Disney gives them more perks. That's just how it works. Um, but yeah, this is look at that reduced 200 points. I think we were talking either 100 or 300 before. Here's a 200-point contract, $24,000. When was this purchased? Will that tell us? So they used it in 2025. Date listed was April. It was just recently. This is like a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, whatever. Dues per point, $9.46. Wow. And this is 200 points. So basically 200 bucks a year. I'm sorry, $2,000 a year. So divided by 12, what, 180 bucks a month, something like that. You're going to be spending to on the dues, 180 bucks a month, mind you. That is a significant bill per month just on the dues for this contract as long as you own it, right? That's the worst part about owning these contracts is you have to pay the dues on it. Oh, and they don't want anyone other than you and your very close family and friends to use this shit. So it's not like you can go out and make a bunch of money on this. That's why people they get into this shit and they get run over by the predatory assholes at Disney. Their sales reps, or as they call them, cast members, sell them these contracts, which they don't consult a lawyer for. They're on vacation. They're not trying to talk to a lawyer. What the fuck? We don't need a lawyer for this. We can figure this out. And the sales reps will talk very people who are very against buying this type of shit. They will talk them into buying this shit, and it is crazy. This is crazy. This is really crazy. So here's some amenities here. You've got a Disney bus transportation, in room celebrations. What the fuck? Disney gondola transportation, online check-in, complimentary Wi-Fi. If you don't have Wi-Fi at your hotel that I'm staying at, fuck you. I'm not coming. What the fuck? Complimentary Wi-Fi. Kiss my ass. Resort airline check-in. What? Oh my god. Valet parking. Okay, now we're talking. I mean, you're gonna have to tip probably, but I mean, you don't have to, but you're kind of people are expecting a tip there. Complimentary standard parking. Complimentary standard parking. Well, that's a relief. What the fuck? ATM, banking, childcare services, designated smoking areas. If you're a smoker, go fuck yourself. You're gonna have to walk somewhere that's probably pretty inconvenient just to fucking smoke. Probably even just to vape. Holy shit. Locker rentals. Not no locker included. Locker rentals. Mail services in case you're staying there long enough to get fucking mail. What the fuck? Merchandise delivery and pickup, spa, and fitness. Great. Open date fall 2019. So this is the date here that the contract was open. They bought it in 2019. Probably the worst time they could have ever bought a goddamn Disney con. Like right when the pandemic was like full or not full force. This was just before the pandemic really started and all the fucking amusement parks shut down. Deed expiration. So they call it a deed. Expires January 31st, 2070. Wow. This is a long contract. What is that? 61 years ish. 60 and a half years. That's crazy. Rooms, is that 300 or 30D? What is that? Actually can't tell. Hold on. Copy it over to, it's 300. Oh, so I'm guessing that means you have like 300 different rooms you can pull from within certain amounts of times. And once that fills up, that you're fucked. Okay. Sure. This is the room plan. They give you room plans for every room. God forbid. Little balcony there. That's cool. Little sitting area. Got your entertainment area, living room, one bathroom. Eh, Uh, wait, I'm noticing a lack of bedroom here. This is it? So there's no bedroom here. This is a sofa. I'm assuming that's a pull-out sofa. Maybe there's a Murphy bed somewhere. Uh, I don't know. I really don't know. That's crazy. Holy shit! You don't even get an actual bed. What? Okay. Wow. This is honestly really terrible. There's a pretty cheap one here, 75 points. They've used them all. They've got some banked for next year, and they're just trying to sell it. Let's see what we got here. I'm just gonna take a look here. Just fucking curious. My own fall 2019. Wow. Expires January 31st, 2070. Holy shit, that's the same timeline. What the fuck? That's crazy. And it's the same room too. Same type of room at the what is this? The Riviera, right? Yeah, it's the same type of room. That's crazy. Oh, people were getting scammed so hard that year. Sorry, I don't mean to call it a scam. Alleged scam. Alleged scam. Oh, 150 points. This is reduced at the Riviera. Let's take a look. Fall 2019. New expiration January 31st, 27. What the fuck? Yo, you can't make this shit up. I Can I hold on? Status. Okay, tell you what. Let's increase our bar here. Let's go 300 min. I'm just curious. Not many available 300 minimum. Only one actually 300 minimum, 500 minimum, two, and then 525. This is status available. I don't know what that means. I Whatever. So let's go run of the mill here. 110 bucks per point, 500 points. Let's take a look here. If it's the same goddamn date, I'm gonna, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. Fall 2019 expires January 30th, 2017. What the fuck? Is that just when this website started, or is that just am I? Is this a fluke? Am I just? That might be when the contract. Actually, you know what? I think I know what's going on here. Hold on. Disney World Riviera. I'm guessing it opened in fall of 2019, and they established all these contracts when it first opened. That's what I'm guessing. I could be wrong. I don't know. Disney's Riviera Resort. Yes, opened December 16th, 2019. That would technically be fall of 2019. Yes. Okay, that's why. So that's why these contracts go for a certain length of time, and it goes from the date that these places first open, not the date that you start the contract, that you actually buy the contract from Disney. The date that the place opens, these contracts are created. And Disney, I'm guessing if you go and just rent a room at this place, there's probably only 300 rooms. There's probably more rooms than 300. 300 of them are reserved for these timeshare sort of things. I need a drink. Holy shit. I am losing my voice. So the plans for the resort released in the D23 Expo. What the fuck, really? D23 Expo in 2017. Cool. That's cool. It opened. So the number of rooms. There we go. 489. So 189 rooms at the Riviera are basically like open to the public, where you can come in and rent a room. You come in, you say, "Hey, I need a room tonight, to the next few days, whatever." You probably don't do that if you go to Disney World, but just imagine somebody coming in, a weary traveler trying to get a room. They would come in, try to rent a room, and they'd be like, "Ah, sorry, we're booked." Well, they're only looking at 189 rooms. The other 300 are on timeshares, so they're just reserved for Disney Vacation Club members. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, I'm learning more myself right now. I did not realize that until I started looking at this. Actually, I just assumed this was the contract itself when it was first purchased. But this is when the hotel actually opened and the contracts were created legally for 300 different rooms. So depending on where you are and depending on how many points you have and when you've got a contract, you can kind of fall into this kind of space. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. I may have to quit this. I'm losing my voice. I'm at over an hour now explaining Disney Vacation Club. Did I hit every point? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Did I mention that it's 15% APR and that's a 15-year loan, by the way. You can pay this off in 15 years with a 10% down payment. So I think I might have mentioned that. You have value, moderate, and deluxe villas. That's what they call them. There's like the special rooms. They're usually called villas. Uh, one, two, three bedroom villas, some specialty variants. Those include tree houses, cottages, cabins, that sort of thing. There's a bunch of different places. You get a contract. You get so many points per year. You exchange those points for resort stays. Contract expires based on resort construction date, not when the contract is purchased. I think I made that pretty clear. Home resort, use year, number of points. So those are pretty important points there. Home resort is your slice of real estate. You actually are buying essentially a slice of real estate at a place for a certain amount of time, although it is very much more flexible than a classic timeshare, but it is pretty much a timeshare. It's kind of a timeshare. You can book at your home resort 11 months in advance, 7 months everywhere else. Home resort has an expiration date. The earliest currently is 2042. You have to look that up, what resort that is. Latest is about 50 years out, although 2070 is pretty far out there. That's that's about 50 years out. Okay, about 45 years out. All right. Um, the home resort is very useful. Choose wisely. I'm just kind of going back to my notes here, and this mostly came from Pixie Dust PhD's video. I'll link that below, along with a couple other videos and resources. You use here is like your fiscal year for your points, blah blah, allocated the first of that year. So if your fiscal year starts in August, you will get your points every August 1st. The points chart show you the exact amount of points you need for each resort and room, not locked into the exact unit or time of year, which is very nice, very flexible compared to classic timeshare. Banking and borrowing points can extend stays now or later. So you can get them up to 3 years for one trip. So you can go up to 3 years in the future and borrow points for one trip to have a super long trip, but then you can't use any points the years after that if you use them all up. And you can also bank them sort of like rollover minutes for like a phone contract. Minimum 100 points per contract when directly purchased. 2019 was about $165 a point. 2026, $243 a point. So it's going up quite a bit. So if you're trying to resell it, that can really matter. Cost of the contract is the points, the home resort, depending on where you are, and direct versus resale, depending on where you buy it. Annual dues are assessed for resort maintenance. Annual dues add up, change over time, and vary by home resort. Paid by point and charged monthly. That is really fucking important. Um, Another thing that I really didn't go through in this video, if you just go and get a goddamn hotel outside of Disney World, like I found, we'll go do that before I close the video. I just want to run through these real quick. Disney has the option to buy the contract if it's being sold. Resale, you're not eligible for the membership extras, aka perks. Only the original owners are eligible for that, and the extras can vary and change over time. Most people will finance a contract. Current APR slightly over 15%. About half of a credit card. So credit cards are generally like 29, 30% APR. That's about half of that, but it's far more than a normal mortgage. A lot of mortgages are less than 15% interest or APR. Uh, please consider another financier other than Disney if you're going to do this shit. Jesus Christ, that is a lot of money. Financing can wipe out potential savings from DVC. This was a complaint that I got from another video, which I will link below. Resale contracts, restrict resorts you can use points at, and potential regrets. This was one video that I saw where the person had people send in like regrets they had from their DVC contracts. Their biggest regrets, not diversifying. So they got a contract, very small contract, and didn't get enough diversification to actually enjoy themselves. They could get a very limited vacation every year, but it wasn't enough for them over time. And that leads to the next point, not planning ahead for family slash time changes. If you're going to have more family or more or less time in the future, that can really affect your vacation time, which can really affect your DVC membership. Using Disney financing instead of other options, that was another regret. I just mentioned that, which, yeah, please look at other options. Please don't just jump at everything that they give you because they're going to give you what seems like a very easy thing. You can get other options. There are other options out there for financing, for actually buying the contracts, all that. Look into it, please. This is a very big financial step. If you're into this kind of thing, again, I'm looking at this from the outside, not a vacation person, especially not a Disney person. So I am looking at this from a complete outsider perspective. I think it's a little crazy. I would never do this shit. If you do, please be careful. Please look into it. Please do your research. And I'm gonna go. I tell you what, we're gonna go over to. I have a website I used to use quite a bit in the past. I've used it too much lately. Let me take another drink here. This is not an ad. I've just used Booking.com quite a bit. I'm going to put in Walt Disney World. There we go. Uh, I would say I'm flexible, but these dates really matter. So let's. Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. Oh, that doesn't matter. Never mind. Those are the resale things. I want to look at the right here. So the cheapest time, September 1st to September 30th. So let's go ahead and look at again. Remember what I said to you before? If you go by this, remember $243 per point. You're spending 10 points. That's $2,430 for a 5 day stay or for a 10-day stay. So half that, 2,400, $1,215 for a 5 day stay. So if you stay Sunday through Thursday, so 1,215. Remember that number. Let's go look. Booking.com. What was that? September 1st through the 30th. This is this year. I'm just gonna pick a random. Let's go 13 through 17, Sunday through Thursday. Let's pick average. I'm not going off based off my family. I'm just let's go off of the average. Let's say two adults, two children. That seems uh I'll say like 12 and 8. Right. Okay. Just to throw it out there. And we're gonna try and get into one room. We're not traveling for work, we're not traveling with pets. We are traveling for the pleasure. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, the Dolphin. I've actually stayed there in my very, very few number of times. I've actually stayed at Walt Disney World. It's actually at the Dolphin. I would like to stay off-site if I can. I saw a place earlier when I was looking at this on my phone. There's the Swan. So the Swan and Dolphin are actually a twin hotel set. 1236. Again, you're paying about 1215 best off your points price for 5 days. These 5 days, you're paying about 1215. If you're just paying out of pocket, 1236. But again, the amount you pay over time is going to be less because you're not spending that amount every time. That's just the number of points you're using. You get, let's say you have a 50-year contract, you have 100 points per year, you're getting essentially, what is that, 5,000 points. So divide that by your contract price. That's about how much. So you're paying like 100, $150 a night. That's a pretty good deal, right? But here's the thing, you're staying on site, you're getting all these amenities, whatever, but you're not really getting that much, right? So I'm going to go through here real quick. I am going to find, let's see, breakfast included, because of course I don't want to spend money for Disney breakfast. Uh, Parking, probably not free parking, almost guaranteed. Uh, can I get, those are popular filters, free Wi Fi, swimming pool, restaurant, if we want it, whatever. Room amenities, I want a kitchen or kitchenette, and I don't need a balcony. I'm fine without a balcony, honestly, as long as I have a window. Uh, Okay. So looking at this, I saw one earlier. Oh, here it is right here. No, oh, actually, this is it right here. So this is for four people, two adults, two children. I believe if you have one child, I think they actually were to pay this for you. They would pay for the kid, so you wouldn't have to pay for the kid. You have two kids, they're gonna include that because there's a little bit more of a cost to that. This is the Homewood Suites by Hilton, Orlando Flamingo Crossings, Florida. This is 595. This is $149 a night. How close is it? This is 3.2 miles from Disney World. Where's the one I saw earlier? This is not it. This is closer. Actually, that's almost it. This hold on. One of these was like the one I saw earlier, but look at this. $105 a night. Again, if you're going to Disney World, you're not really going to for the amazing hotel room that you're getting. You're going because you're going to Disney World. I bet they have shuttle service to Disney World. They're 5 miles away, 5.5 miles away. These people, 3.3 miles. These people, 4.4 miles. And again, they have a kitchen in the suite, which means and that includes a stove, microwave, refrigerator. You can go buy some food or bring it with you, put it in your fridge, make dinner, make lunch, make food, right? Not have to worry about spending all the money for food. The only cost you're really worrying about is the hotel room, which again, this is less than $100 a night. Plus parking. I think the parking's always it always costs some money because you actually are on Disney property. So it's like 27 bucks a day, I think, for parking. Factor that in, but that's not that much more, right? 149 bucks a night plus 27 bucks, 170. If you're paying less than 200 bucks a night, including taxes, all that. Look at this, 9.1, 2,000 reviews. That's 3 miles away. I guarantee you, they have a fucking. This is one bed, one bedroom. They always have a pull-out sofa, so you got plenty of space. Put the kids on the sofa, put them in front of a TV. You and your wife, whatever, girlfriend, go into the goddamn bedroom, do your thing. This is the way to go. Do not buy this shit from Disney. If you're going to just have a vacation once in a while to Disney, don't think you have to buy a fucking contract to come every year to actually get your money's worth. Just go to a hotel like near Disney. I guarantee you they have like shuttles into Disney so you don't have to drive in and pay more for parking and all that. Guarantee you that they're a few miles away. You know what they're doing? You know what they're there for? They're there to support Disney. That's why they're there. They're there because Disney's there. They're going to have shuttles, free shuttles, I guarantee you, into Disney World. Guarantee you. I don't even have to look it up. I should look it up. Let me look it up. What is this? Let's look at this is 120 bucks a night. That's a pretty good price. Home two suites by Hilton. That's nice. They have a kitchen on site, swimming pool. Very nice. Very nice. Get your park passes. This is for 5 days, 4 nights, 482 bucks, $121 a night, 420 spare feet. Let's go. Smoke up, girls, boys. Let's go. Two beds. Oh boy, that you might have to shove those together. I don't know. That's a little, that's a little weird. You might be able to find like a one bed, like a giant king bed or something. I don't know. You have to go look it up yourself. I'm not here for all that. Uh, I'm just doing this real quick before I get off of here because this is already a long ass video, but it's almost an hour and a half long. But I had to break this down. This is just this is me just talking out loud. I had to break this shit down. It is so crazy to me that people are actually buying these multi tens of thousands of dollar contracts to stay on Disney World property for like way more than you'd ever pay for a normal hotel. Anyway, even with the discount, you're still paying way more than you would normally pay. Look at this, under 500 bucks for 5 nights, 5 days, 4 nights, Sunday through Thursday. That was the cheapest time we could find. Same dates. I've got it all in here. What am I looking at? Home Two Suites by Hilton. Let's go to their website. Let's see if they have like a shuttle service to Disney. Right. I'm just gonna type this in. Oh, Home Two Suites by Hilton. There's a bunch of shit. This is not my normal start page, although it is. It does say start page, which is very hilarious. Those are all sponsored. I just want the sure. I think that's it. Is that right? Oh my god! I didn't mean to close that. Hopefully, it saved all my filters. Please, please reopen the tab. I'm gonna cry. I just are you kidding me right now? Oh my! Oh no! Oh no! I closed the whole thing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am fucking up. I am fucking up. Give me one sec. Oh my god, that was crazy. Okay. How do I how did I get to that? Oh, open guest profile. Here we go. Okay. I oh boy, I bet it closed everything out of there. Oh jeez, that's not good. Okay. I think I fucked up. I'm just gonna go look real quick. Was it Home Two Suites by Hilton? You guys might be looking at the black screen right now. Oh, is it? Is it back up? No, it's not. Okay, that's kind of crazy. Open guest profile, right? How do I? Okay, it's literally giving me like a blank page. I can't do anything. Okay, Home Two Suites by Hilton. I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Shuttle service. Home Two Suites by Hilton. Uh, Disney World shuttle service. I'm just gonna Google that. See what we can find here. Um, Okay, so this is the Home Two Suites by Hilton, Orlando International Drive South. Probably the same spot we were just at. See all options. There is line 350 bus, line 300 bus, hour and a half, which it's only 4 miles away. So how is it an hour and a half? $2. Taxi, 29 to 35. You can drive there, $2 to $3, depending on gas. You have to pay for parking. So there may or may not be shuttle service. I apologize. This is a shitty way to end the video. I didn't mean to fuck it all up like that. But yes, this is buying the Disney Vacation Club thing contract is probably one of the worst things you can do. It's not great. Just don't do it. I I just don't do it. It's not good. We're gonna cut it here though. I again, you're looking at I just put up the hotel rooms before the 4 to 5, $600 a week for 5 days, right? And maybe a little more for 5 days. You get way more amenities, way more shit. You have a kitchen. You can make your own food. You don't have to worry about the Disney Resort uh, restaurants, all that overpriced bullshit food. And, you know, maybe you pay a little more for parking if you have to park in the hotel and Disney World, whatever it is. You'll find a way. Don't get sucked into a 50-year contract because somebody says, "Hey, save a little money on this hotel that you don't even have to go to because you can go a couple miles outside of Disney and still get the same shit, if not better, and go to Disney and buy your passes." And yeah, you're spending a little more money on passes. Whoop de fucking do. You'll figure it out. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. I spent I spent way too much time doing this. I hope somebody watched it. I hope you enjoy it. This is about an hour and a half long now. I'm not going to edit it. I don't care. All the mistakes are in it. In it for life. It is what it is. Um, yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be in the comments. Uh, like, subscribe. I don't give a shit. Do what you got to do. It doesn't matter to me. Just please listen to something here because I feel like I don't have any skin in this game. All these other people you see talking about Disney Vacation Club, they're generally putting out their referral links for like a $500 discount for the DVC. I'm not doing that because I don't give a shit. I'm not using it. I don't care. I don't have a referral link. I don't give a fuck. Don't don't use it. Use it. It's up to you. I don't care. If you want to go, if you think you're gonna do this, if you can figure out your family shit for the next 50 years, by all means, if you think it's cheaper and you really enjoy it, go ahead and get it. Go ahead and join the DVC. I don't care. It's okay. You can do it. I'm not going to hate on you for it. Some people it might actually work out for. Other people, as you can see from all these resales that are happening, especially more recently, it doesn't always work out, and it can be a huge issue. And yeah, thanks again to Dixie Dixie Dust, Pixie Dust PhD. I've got a few other links to some channels that I watched. I will post them below. And yeah, have fun. See you guys later. Peace.